Welcome to Shark Cap Table LITE. Make a deal and keep your arms and legs. This is about one round of equity and royalty financing. Along the top here, we've hidden the help to make it clear, but if you want to show it, you can easily do this. There's lots of interesting things that happen, but let's keep it at hide. You can also call your investors, sharks or VCs. Let's call them sharks today because it's more fun. Okay. Another thing is you can kind of scroll through this little top thing here, and you can get lots of helpful hints. Leave it at 1. Now we're going to scroll down. We're going to structure your company with founder shares and pre-money options. So let's put in a $40,000 investment for 1 million shares. Let's come over here and put in a $500 investment for 500,000 options. No, that's 50,000, make it 500. These would be known as pre-money options or management options. Now, it's entirely possible that before we start negotiating that we might have to put a little more money in. So let's come down here and put $10,000 in. This is kind of like an offering to the founders themselves. Now, right here is the option pool. We should dial in about 15%. Professional investors like option pools, and it does dilute the people up here. Scroll on down to the detailed founder valuation. Now here's the money we put in. This is the extra money we put in. Now this valuation comes from the detailed founder valuation. So you come over here and there's the cash. We have a few revenues. That's what we think they're worth. Don't have any patents, don't have any trademarks, but we do have proprietary software. We've got a little good URL and a website. We think that our two founders, myself and Glenn, worth about $150,000 in terms of experience and expertise, and we've got the ability to capture market share. So this gives us a little over $500,000 valuation by the founders. Let's go back to Shark Cap Table LITE, the other red tab. Now, this is the one that prices everything right here, the Shark pre-money value. This is what they think we're worth. Maybe they think we're worth $450 even though we say it's $550. And let's say we're trying to get $300,000. So we'll dial in $300,000. You could also come over here and just dial in 300 because 300 times 1,000 is going to give you 300,000. The reason we do this is these types of spinners only go to 30,000. So if you want to do big numbers, you have to have a combination. Also, this allows you to zero them out quickly. So we now have a post-money value of $750,000. Let's come down here and take a look at what we do next. Well, what we do next is we do an enterprise exit valuation and revenue projections with royalties. We might use royalties as a way of reducing equity ownership, but keeping the internal rate of return high enough for the investors. So I've put in some projections of revenues, and I've put in some expected EBITDA. Notice we're negative here, and then we start to improve, and right below it is the percentage of sales. And then I've estimated the amount of cash based upon our sales and earnings. You really need a good financial model to do it, but you can guesstimate, or you can take your good financial model and copy and paste in these numbers. Now, we think we're going to sell this business for about $2 million in year 4, which just happens to be 2 times revenues, or a bit rich at 14.3 times EBITDA. Let's move it to one more year and see what it is. Well, you see, if they were buying at the end of year 4, they probably would be looking forward. So 7 times 4 or 7 times EBITDA is maybe okay. But let's see what this brings us. Let's scroll down to section D, build scenarios using royalty or preferential royalty, or equity, or a combo with royalties or preferentials. So let's see what we've done. What we want to do here is we want to make sure that all of these are the same. Looks like they're good. But 40% ownership and only getting 2.32 and 27.8 after 4 years is probably not going to go with the investors. So we're probably going to have to lower, let's go over here and do it fast. We're probably going to have to lower the pre-money value to about $300,000. That barely makes it 3-to-1 and 35. It might be even worse, 250,000. See, we're not really very profitable. That's the problem. And it may come out of our hides, but let's see what we could do to make this a little bit better. All right, so maybe they'll go for a 38 and a 3. Let's make sure that we have set these correctly. Update these because we're going to need to look at these. Nice, easy way of copying over what we've got. All right, so now let's set up a combo deal. And let's give it a $50,000 target on a 5% royalty. And we'll give them 3-to-1 on that. So we'll spin in 3, and there it is. So if we give them a target, and we're giving this to them. This is not being charged. This is an attached royalty, preferential royalty, because it has a limited time. So they're going to get another $150,000. Well, you can see that boosts their internal rate of return by 5 points. Now, if they've been happy with 38, maybe we can come in here and increase a little bit the pre-money value. There we are. So now we've equaled the original, and notice that they used to have 54% of the company. Now they have 45. So that's the power of a preferential royalty. You maintain your ownership. Let's go back up and see if we had the cash to do it. Remember, we had done the projections. This is the year we're selling. So this is the cash we estimate we're going to have. So obviously we're actually probably okay. This year's a little bit slim. We don't know exactly if this is enough. You have to do some liquidity analysis. But that looks okay. Now let's come on down and see what we've done. In the combo deal, this is a written description. Here's our capitalization table. And you can see each of the major shareholder groups and their various investments and so forth. Now, the reference to no investment units has to do with the feature that we have in that we can analyze a deal that somebody's trying to sell you. We left it in here because it needs to be there. It will not be in our summary. Say we only have 4 of those guys right there. Now let's come down here and take a look at G, the summary of founder shares and pre-money options. It includes more cash invested. Well, remember what we did is we basically said we needed an extra $10,000, and we essentially sold shares to the founders. If we had several founders here, it would have been prorated by their ownership. As it turns out, remember, we had 40 and another 10 makes a total of $50,000 by founder 1. You could call this an extra contribution. Sometimes necessary to put more cash in before you try to go get more cash. Now we come down here, and this is a powerful feature. This is the Shark Pitch Maker. And what we've done here is you have a chance to choose from 6 or 7 different types of businesses. We're in the software business. This is our name. You have to put your name in there. This is me, Glenn Gutierrez, my partner in this business. And here we've decided we're going to sell in year 4. And this little green here says that you're selling same year's projection discussions, because this little phrase is actually going to be wrapped up into some concatenated statements. Now what we've done is we've taken a typical types of wording that would be for a software company. We put them here, 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 and one more here. Now what your objective would be to come in here and write up what you think comes very close. Capitalization and punctuation, very important. It is all carefully laid out. Try to keep it the same length. You can't put 6 lines in any of these. You'll outrun our space. And, of course, presto, there is what happens. That is a giant concatenation statement. The grammar, the spelling in the English is pretty good, and you can cut and paste and put that into a document, and you can further edit it. Now, the last thing that we give you in Shark Cap Table LITE is an actual summary. Now, this is the part here that you have to use your brain and you actually have to write. We did make it a little easier for you. If we come back to the detailed founder valuation and scroll down, you will see 11 questions. I would suggest strongly that you read these 11 questions, make some notes, think about them, and then while you're remembering and thinking, write a little summary of your opportunity. We've reproduced the graph over here showing our revenues and the year that we sell and the amount. This is a reproduction of the proposed offering and expected investment returns. And here's that capitalization table, sans the investment units. We only have 4 components here. And again, here's our 2-founder pitch. And that is it, folks.